and it's a series which we started back in January. It's intended to provide information to members across a series of topics which complement our training programs, but are also useful to workers and to representatives in the roles that they're doing, but also other particular topics. And we do take topics from individuals who have suggested things. So there's been a lot of conversations with people about different topics. So today we're delighted, it's our 11th episode. And we're delighted to welcome 4 speakers. I'll introduce them all in a second. But just to let you know the way we're going to process this, it's recorded. It will be it's just started recording actually. We will record the session. It will be available on YouTube on the Skills Academy channel for viewing. It's for all members. So if you have members who haven't been able to engage today, who haven't been able to participate, who maybe didn't get the link, because we had a lot of bounce backs because of incorrect emails. So if you didn't get the link, please pass it on to all the members in your branch for them to view, because it is important information. It's not just important for themselves as individuals, but it's important for them to be able to recruit. So today's episode, as I said, is the additional benefits of membership. And I know Sean is with us. He's going to talk to you a little bit more detail. But this is the additional benefits, which is a default. It comes out of your Fórsa membership. As you know, the priority for membership is about protecting our jobs and progressing the conditions for workers and the members in the employments that we represent. So this falls out of your membership. So by virtue of you being engaged and active, we give you some like super duper benefits for members, of which I know very little myself. So I'm delighted to be here and to listen to this. We have 5 guests. I suppose we have our own Director of Membership, Sean McElhenney, who's going to take the mic in a sec. We also have Patricia Conte from Work It. It's about, and she's going to talk about member benefits. We have Angela Gorman, who unfortunately has strep, so she's not going to be able to speak too much to us today. She's from Marshalls, but she is here to answer some questions in the chat later on. So be sure to be primed with your questions through the chat. We have Brendan Little from ARAG. Brendan is from our legal services, but he's not here to give independent legal advice at the minute to any individual. He's just here to showcase what the service is. So we will put a couple of numbers in the chat at the end of his presentation so that you can contact him individually if you have issues that you want to get advice on. And last but not least, we have Emer Conroy, who is Life and Pensions Manager from Core Market. She's going to be our last speaker. She's going to talk about all the fabulous benefits that Core Market give to members, including salary protection. She has a long number of years in the financial services, so she's a great expert, and she's actually been coming on to our foundational program for half an hour, 40 minutes to talk about salary protection as well during the year. So we're in Limerick next week, so just to advertise that for the people who are joining us in Limerick, Emer will be there to talk to them about that. So without me rabbiting on any further, I'll hand over to Sean, who I think wants to say a few words before we open the session to Patricia. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, thanks, Fiona. Thanks, and hi, everyone. My name is Sean McElhenney. I'm the Director of Membership in Fórsa. And I'm very pleased to be part of this Lunch and Learn today. And Fiona, Lunch and Learns are a class initiative, right? Keep them lit. There's plenty of interest for them and everything. I've always enjoyed contributing to them. So look, colleagues, first of all, I want to start off by saying that trade union membership is an ethical thing, right? In our society, being a trade union member is the right thing to do. It's a good decision to make. Trade unions, as well as being responsible for all those well-rehearsed benefits that we see on Facebook and Twitter and all the rest, your 40-hour week, your weekend, your minimum wage, your rights to maternity, your rights to holidays, your rights to sick pay, as well as the workers who've been organised through trade unions throughout the last 100 years, achieving these benefits for society. That's the first and most important thing that we've done. As well as that, we run progressive campaigns today. So Fórsa, for example, are leading internationally the campaign for the 4-day week. The international chair, the CEO of the International 4-Day Week campaign came from Fórsa. The head of communications in that campaign came from Fórsa. In Ireland, it's Fórsa leading out on trying to change the culture of work and orientated towards a 4-day week, which is better, which has benefits for workers, it's got benefits for productivity, it's got benefits for the economy, and it is the future, and we're the ones fighting for it. As well as that, we fight for housing for all. 23 of the 26 counties in Ireland saw double-digit rent increases in the last 12 months. 3/4 of all Irish citizens living in rented accommodation at the beginning of this year were predicted to be at risk of poverty by Christmas. But it's Fórsa who's fighting for progressive change in our society such as that. The first and most important reason to join a union, right, is being part of the collective that helps us make these changes in society. And being part of a collective is just better than being alone. Trade union members are, on average, 10% better paid than non-union members. And organised workplaces, that is, those with a good proportion of the workforce and trade union membership, are likely to offer better access to workplace pensions, have better rights to holidays and sickness benefits and things like that. In Ireland today, unionised workplaces are more likely to offer greater rights to hybrid working, for example, than non-unionised workplaces. Workers in unionised workplaces are safer than workers in non-unionised workplaces, with workers in non-unionised workplaces being 5 times more likely to experience an accident at work than non-unionised than unionised workplaces. The reality of these statistics, right, and these things that I'm just rhyming off, are measurable benefits for Fórsa members and for Irish citizens. For example, since 2013, successive public sector pay deals that our General Secretary and the General Secretary before that led the negotiations on, those successive public sector pay deals have recovered the worth of wages that were slashed after the financial crash. 1 in 3 households in Ireland is home to a public sector worker, and every 1% that we won in public sector pay deals amounts to about 250 million being injected into those households. In the private sector, Aer Lingus, for example, our collective strength over the past year and since COVID has not only led to a restoration of hours for our members, our cabin crew members, but we've seen pay rises there as well. In the community and voluntary sector, many of you will know about the local health and social care agencies, known as Section 39 agencies, where we've just secured an 8% pay rise for workers there as well. And we've also secured a link to public sector pay for those workers. And it's all because of the benefits of trade union membership and our strength. Now, plenty of people say to me whenever we're traveling around these workplaces, right, I would join a union, but sure, if I wasn't in the union, which I'm not, I still get the benefits anyway. Look, that's true, but only to a point, because if nobody was in the union, then we wouldn't be getting any benefits. And the more people that are in the union, the stronger we are, and the easier it is to make better gains. So in that sense, trade union membership, as I said at the beginning, is an ethical thing. And there's a good humanitarian reason to be a trade union member. If you want to make the world a better place, this is where we start. But there are other reasons to join our collective as well. And that's what we're here to talk about today. The things that are unique to trade union members, the things that we can only get when we are members of Fórsa.
We're losing you, Sean.
Who are going to tell us about the benefits. I'm sorry, that's me finished anyway, right? I'm finished now anyway. I was just going to lead on to our unique benefits for our members. Can you hear me all right, Fiona?
Yeah, you were coming in and out there for a bit.
For our members that you can only get when you're a membership of Fórsa. And our first contributor today from Worka is Patricia Conte. And I'd just like to welcome Patricia to talk about some of those things that are unique to us and the people who pay their union subs. Thanks, Patricia.
Thanks so much, Sean, and thanks everybody for taking the time to be on the call today. As Sean mentioned there, I'm from Workit. Folks who've been with the union a long time might know us as group schemes. And we're now a part of a parent company called Benefix, which is why you see a different name on my screen. So I'm showing you the discounts portal that all Fórsa members have access to. I've shared the link for how you can access that on the chat now. So please go in and register. I wanted to show you this screen first so that you'll see what you need in order to access this. So you'll be asked for your details here. So your first name, your surname, any email address that you care to shop through. But what's really important here is that you must have your Fórsa membership number in order to access this discount site, okay? I'm going to bring you directly into the site now so that you can have a look and see what it's all about. We have got about 700 plus offers here at any one time. So discounts from the likes of Circle K, Skechers, Tesco's. So the whole purpose of this is to support you in your financial well-being. So everything's really expensive. So we'd like to be able to give you a few discounts here and there along the way. And again, you can really only access this if you are a Fórsa member. Okay. We've also got an app here as well that you can download onto your phone, and you can get this on up to 4 different devices. Okay. So first you need to register if you haven't already done so, and then you can access the app. So this is the homepage that will bring you into some of the offers. As you know, today is Black Friday, right? So some of the offers here coming up are all accessible to Fórsa members. So whether you're a rugby fan and you're interested in getting rugby tickets, there's a discount on that. Whether you're looking at getting your phone watch alarm pack today, there's a discount on that. There's a number of different things here that you can go into and have a look. There's different ways as well that you can access your discounts. So you can get a voucher, you can get an e-code, you could get a gift card. It could be a QR code that you can access with as well. So let me just dive straight in and show you some of the offers that are here. Okay, so if I start with the Circle K one that I just mentioned there, again, this is for all participating Circle Ks. If I just put in Circle K there where I searched, you'll see all the different offers here. This is a really great reason why you need to have your app as well on your phone. So things like 30% off your car wash, or if you're getting a hot drink, hot coffee, that's 20% off for all Fórsa members. This is the one that I use myself particularly, the 3 cents off per litre. I was recently in Donegal and I actually reached for my phone to get my app so that I could top up my fuel. And this is what I literally did. You go in, you pay for, you pump your petrol and you go in to pay. You have your app on your phone, you scan your QR code and your discount is taken off immediately. And this covers right around the island of Ireland. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter if you're in someone else's car. Once you've got your app on the phone, you can simply go in and you can access it. Okay. If I come back out of that, I'm going to search a couple of different ones here just to show you the different offers that are there. For people who like shopping in Halfords, there's a really great offer of 8% off in store with Halfords. But for today, there's also a 15% off because of the Black Friday deal. Let me just go into them just to show you how that looks. So again, you've got your app on your phone and it's quite easy to download. You go into Halfords to purchase whatever it is. I was there recently and got a kid's car seat. And you simply go to the till before you pay, you scan your barcode and your discount comes off. Okay, it's as simple as that. And you can see here, the offer is valid on the 28th of February. So what's really good about this site here as well is that it tells you about the different offers. So whether you can use the offer online, it's in store, or whether or not you need to you can do both essentially. There's another one here, Skechers. I'm just showing you a couple of different ones that are available here so that you feel confident when you go in to look at this site. So all the different Skechers, and this is ongoing. This is not because of Black Friday. There's 20% off. So it tells you all the different points. So from Dublin to Cork, Dundalk, Westmeath, we've got, up in the north as well. So it depends on where you're going and what you're doing, where you're shopping. Okay. Another way that you can also see the discounts is if I hover here, and you can do this on your app, these are all the different categories that you can shop in. So, it's not just your fuel, it's holidays. It's if you're looking to get phone and internet, if you're looking for airport lounges. As long as you are a Fórsa member, you have access to this, and you should be booking everything through this. So, for example, if you're interested in cinema, for example, when I click on that, it will give me all the different cinemas that we have offers with. So you can see there's 40% off, there's 31% off, depending on the different offers that there are. So you can go in and you can avail of, your 35% discount off your cinema. Good reason to go back. If I go into a couple of other ones here, just to show you some of the gift cards that we have here as well, just so that you feel confident here. So the Currys one is a new one for Black Friday. There's €100 off. Okay. If I go into the shopping cards, that will show you all the different offers that there is. So these are all brands that everyone on the call would know. They're all household brands, Dunn's, Arnott's, Brown Thomas. The only thing that you're going to be doing differently is that you're going to be using your app on this when you're shopping, and you're going to be getting your discount. I'll pop into the Tesco one really quickly just to show you. So with the Tesco one, and this is on for ongoing, it's on for the year. So every time you top up your Tesco card, you get that 4% saved off. So say, for example, you got €100 on your Tesco card, which you can load up to €500, by the way, right? And you go in, you only pay 96 for that. So people use a Tesco card for something in particular. So something you can only get in Tesco, or they use it as a gift or from mum. And you can just keep on topping that up and saving that 4%. So it's a great way to budget. You will see there's a lot of sort of explanation on how the cards can be used. And this is really good because it explains it to you and you don't really need anyone to sort of show you. Once you have your app, everything is there for you. Okay, I'll go into a couple of other ones here just to kind of show you the different categories that they are here. So you could be looking for a dentist, you could be looking for an optician, you know, it could be, you know, sports jerseys. It really depends on what folks want to shop for. Okay, that's a really quick whistle-stop tour of the discounts, but also what's available to Fórsa members is also a learning portal where you can go in and you can have a look and do courses that are teaser courses. So these are all online courses. They're all global universities, including our very own UCD and Trinity College here. It could be that you want to go back and do something in particular that you never got to do in school, say, for example, and you just want to refresh. Or it could just be something creative and personal development that you want to do. You can go in here and you can have a quick look and a quick route around just to see what's available to you. Okay. I'll come out of that now. And I also just wanted to quickly show where you can see all of your Marsh insurance offers here. So this again is on the app. Okay, so I'm just going to click into that just so you're familiar what lies behind the tile. All of that is available to all Fórsa members as well. Okay, I know there'll be any questions will be put into the chat and Angela will kindly answer. Thank you so much, everybody.
Patricia, thanks so much, because I know you've stepped in to substitute very quickly last minute for Angela, so who's got a really bad sore throat. So thank you so much for that whistle stop. If either yourself or Angela could pop into the chat the link to the portal, and also if there's a contact email that people, if they're struggling with you know, finding it or accessing the card or whatever it is, if there's a contact email that they could maybe use, we can pop that into the chat later on as well. So Patricia, I know you have to go to another meeting, so
no problem.
Really thank you very much for coming on, and delighted to hear that.
Thanks everyone, and have a good weekend when you get to it. Thank you.
Great, and we will later. Thanks a lot, guys. We will get to the questions at the end of all the presentations, but we're just anxious to get this information out there. Brendan, can I call on you next to talk to us about ARAG and the services that you provide to Fórsa members?
Okay, thanks very much, Fiona. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Brendan Little. I'm the head of sales and marketing in ARAG. I have to start with an apology to Fiona. I gave her the wrong numbers. So the
just while you can read them out.
I know. So the legal advice numbers to get in contact with ARAG are, for legal advice, it's 0818 77 6644. So that's our legal advice helpline. So it's personal legal advice on any issue whatsoever. And then our counselling helpline number is it's 1-800 77 6655. Okay, so that's counselling for all members of Fórsa and the members of the family currently residing with them. That is the key issue here in relation to this.
Brilliant.
So, great. I'll do this next slide, Roisin, as you said. Roll it there, Roisin. How that brought us back and how appropriate it is that we have the toy show on tonight. Anyway, so showcase. What is legal expenses? What's it all about? So, quick and easy way of actually describing legal expenses is a solicitor in your pocket, and that's exactly what we do. So showcase what we do. People in Ireland, overwhelming 80% believe that people with less money generally get worse outcomes in legal challenges. Okay, that's not me saying it. That's actually the Commissioner for Irish Human Rights and Equality Commission. Okay, so that's in their report. The analysis of the impact of proposal of reduced legal costs, assessment report for any legal system to operate at its optimum level, access to justice must be available to all. And that is a key driver for us. And again, it's a benefit for being a member of a union such as Fórsa. We're here to help all members in relation to this. So we assist with all members within the Fórsa union. If you just move on to the next slide. Okay.
Roisin, are you able to access the slides?
It's stuck.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
Do you want me to see if I'll share my slides then? Hold on. If it's stuck. Okay, is that just let me
Great,
know
you
if
can see
this...
that. Yeah.
You can see that now, yeah?
Yep, you can see it.
Okay, we just do this slideshow. Okay, everybody can see that now, yes?
Yep.
So we're on to this slide. So I was just talking about what we're all about from current slide. Okay, so everybody can see that now.
Oh, it's gone into a. Oh, yep.
Now you have it now.
Great.
Okay,
Great.
so that's what I was actually discussing in relation to what it's all about. And this is our founding principle. So this is the founding principle of ARAG. So to enable everybody, not just those who can afford it, to assert their legal rights, we remain committed to equal opportunities for all. When you think about it, for the first thing people think about when they think of legal expenses or in relation to legal fees is that they're very expensive. And they are very expensive because you're looking for professional service in relation to a particular incident that you're actually involved in. Just to give you an idea as to who ARAG are, we are a worldwide organisation. We have been long-standing in Ireland for a number of years. We have representation in mainland Europe, Australia and America and Canada as well. So we're not just a small name, we are a multinational organisation located throughout the world. So what is group legal protection? So as a member of Fórsa, you as the member have access to legal support. And the big case here is, what does that actually mean? What is access to support? Okay, so we sat down with Fórsa many years ago to sit down, what is it that would be most benefit to your membership without affecting your membership of the union? So what we do is there's two particular lines between Fórsa and ARAG. We don't get involved in relation to employment related issues. That's your union, that's what Fórsa are actually there for. So what we deal with is a number of other issues. So like contract disputes. So what I mean by contract disputes, that would be in relation to your purchase of brown or white goods. So on Black Friday, you buy a fridge or you buy a TV, you bring it back to the house and it doesn't do what it says on the tin, as it actually says. We'll assist you in relation to your legal dispute in relation to that. We'll assess and we'll bring it to the next phase, and we'll guide you through the process in relation to what actually happens in relation to the contract disputes. The next one would be the identity theft. I think we're all very familiar with identity theft out there in the domain, especially online, where people take your passport details, take your credit card details, and falsely use your identification in providing services for people who aren't actually you. So what we do is we assist the individual who has been the victim of identity theft through the legal route in sort of re-identifying that they have their identity, and it's actually assigned to the correct person who owns that identity. The next one would be in relation to motor prosecution defence. So what would happen if you're involved, unfortunately, in a road traffic accident and you are prosecuted for, say, dangerous driving with undue care? And what we will do is we will assist the individuals, be the member of Fórsa, attend court. So we will give you representation to attend court in relation to defence, in relation to a motor prosecution defence. The next thing will be in relation to personal injury. So you may all be familiar with the Personal Injury Assessment Board. So an individual will actually present himself at the Personal Injury Assessment Board. So you have to present all your case. And then what you're doing is going to be facing an assessment in relation to the injuries that you have actually sustained. You go in as an individual, and on the other side, you have the insurance companies and other representation who have their legal teams and other support on the other side. So you have a small individual talking about the large organization. What we do is we are providing you with legal services to bring you through the Personal Injury Assessment Board process. So we are giving you legal support to bring you through that entire process. And all we do is we are not involved in relation to compensation in relation to what you receive. We are literally providing you with legal services. Because of your membership of Fórsa, you automatically have this service available to you. Those within the Fórsa group who are under the crew governance, you'll be familiar with fitness to practice. So where somebody takes an action against you in relation to, am I fit to be in that particular profession, and you're brought in front of a governing body, we will give you representation, legal representation, when you are actually presenting yourself in relation to that governing body. So again, you're not presenting yourself as an individual. We're covering all your legal costs in relation to what you have to incur in presenting yourself to that governing body. What we say is that they are particular incidents that must happen for the policy to actually kick in. But what we're saying, the backbone to all our policies are the next two. So that's legal advice and counselling, of which we've already provided you with the numbers, which are 0818 776644, and our counselling is 1800 776655. Okay, so legal advice is on any issue whatsoever. If it is employment related, what we will do is we will divert you back to Fórsa, because that's exactly what Fórsa is there to do, to help you with. So legal advice covers a multitude. So it could be that you want to put an extension onto your property, you want to buy something, or you want to leave a will for somebody, or you want to change your will, you want to discuss something in relation to a particular issue, or something has failed and you need legal advice in relation to something. What we all say is we're all very good at giving legal advice ourselves. But what we say to all members is go to the people who are the professionals of it. And that's what we do. So we have trained legal advisors, qualified legal advisors, who will give you assistance in relation to your legal requirements. Excuse me. The next thing is our counselling service. So what we will say in relation to counselling helpline service is, this is counselling and it's confidential, so nobody will actually know exactly who has actually availed of the service, because it's highly confidential. So the counselling service provides service to all the members, not only the members themselves, but also the members of the family who are permanently residing with them. So it could be in relation to stress, work-related, could be bereavement, could be a separation, could be divorce, and it could be a myriad of incidents where you need assistance from a counsellor. So what we will do is we provide all members on the numbers that we've already recorded on this session, that you have access to trained counsellors who will give you assistance, who will give you time and will help you guide through the service. And this is all online. If needs be, and you need to speak to a counsellor one-to-one, we can actually direct you through a counselling service who will actually provide that service for you. So there is no limit in the amount of counselling that you actually can seek through the legal advice support service or to counselling support service. It is open-ended, but if we feel that you need to speak to somebody actually face-to-face, we can actually direct you to whom you need to talk to. In the middle of this slide, you will actually see legal support. So what we have provided for all Fórsa members is access to our legal document library. And that is the link to it. So legaldocuments.arag.ie. We will actually share with Sean and circulate it later on. So what we have here is, say somebody wants to write a will. What we do is we'll give you the template. The person actually goes in, or the member actually goes into the legal document. They can actually put in all the template or the details they want to put in to the will, and it produces a will for you. Now, it's a standard will. If you need a more complex will, you need to talk to us in relation to legal advice, and we can direct you through to a professional service who can actually give you the details what you need to do. But for a basic will, we have a template there for all members within Fórsa who can actually access that. Now, it's not just restricted to will. There are a number of legal documents on that service that members can actually avail of. So in summary, so we would ask people to consider the following. What support do I need? Do I need legal advice? Do I need counselling? Have I been involved in relation to a contract dispute in relation to buying goods or services? Have I been involved in a road traffic accident and I'm being prosecuted? Have I been involved in relation to support where I need to? Or I need to talk to somebody in relation to a crew under my fitness to practice? We're here to help, and that's exactly what to do. So who can help? ARAG are here to help. So ARAG Legal Expenses Insurance Company. So talk to us on our counselling helpline. Talk to us our legal assistance helpline. We are non-judgmental. We do not judge anybody who comes on to the legal advice helplines. It's really down to us actually providing a support service to all members within Fórsa. The next one is obviously the access to our legal documents library. We have built up a number of documents in there. So if anybody needs to have to see exactly what's in there, you just go into the link and you can actually see through it. We will be continuously building that. So if anybody wants to discuss any more or has any ideas as to what we need to throw into the library, we will take on board what you're actually saying. And that is the conclusion of our presentation.
Wow, Brendan, fantastic. Thank you so much. It's geez, there's a lot of detail in that, which is fantastic. And again, I mean, some amazing services open to membership. So, you know, like we just more and more and more, we have more things that we offer to members. So we'll take the questions obviously for Brendan at the end as well. So last but certainly not least, we have Emer from Cormarker, who's been patiently waiting to do her presentation. So looking forward to this, Emer. So you can take the floor.
Brilliant. Thanks a million. Can everyone see the screen first of all?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So thanks a million for inviting me here today. I'm delighted to be here. What I'll take you through really is an overview of how Fórsa and Cormarker are working very closely together to bring you some, I suppose, a special product is what we'll call it. And that's our salary protection scheme. But first of all, to give you an idea, Fiona very warmly welcomed me with many years of experience. I'd actually sent her on my profile yesterday and I said, listen, I'm showing my age there. So if you want to ignore that part, you freely can. So I'm working in finance 20 years to give you an idea. But Cormarker are actually here 51 years. So really that's to reinforce how long we are protecting, promoting and giving financial advice to public sector members just like you. But really when we sit down with everybody, we'll make sure you're financially fit for life. Now, that's a very broad statement. So really, what does that mean? Well, it means that we'll assess your money coming into the household. Everyone will have different needs. So we'll actually go through your personal circumstances to see what your needs are. Most people will have a goal, whether that's putting your kids to college, buying your first house, or maybe it's retirement on the other side of the spectrum. We'll sit down, put the goals there, and then put a plan in place for you. But the first thing we actually do is go through your payslip. There has been so many changes for Fórsa members in the public sector in the right way. So things are moving on and you're getting pay restoration measures and pay increases. So we'll actually make sure, first of all, do you understand? So what's coming in on this side and what's going out in the right-hand side versus the amount going into your actual bank account. And we make sure that you're being paid correctly. The reason for that is your basic pay could be correct, but you may not be taking advantage of certain tax, for example, or you may be paying ASC at the wrong rate. Things happen and we make sure that your net pay is correct. The reason we will do this, all of your decisions that you will make will be based on how you're paid and how much you're paid. So once we get that basic sorted out, we'll actually go through your income. So in this environment especially, we know that your income is your most important asset. I know in Ireland, we're fascinated with property. And if I had asked you the question before this slide, what was your biggest asset? Most people, if you're lucky enough to own your own home, will say your house. But actually, we know that your income is your biggest asset. Because if that's taken away from you, you can't pay for the mortgage, you can't pay for your rent, you can't pay for creche. So it actually is the most important asset that you can have. So when we think about it, if you can't work, how does your sick pay work? So at the moment, you'll get 13 weeks of full pay. If you're still out of work, it's 13 weeks of half pay. And after that, from 6 months onwards, it's either TRR or social welfare. And when we sit down with you, we'll actually go through your own personal circumstances because there are 2 rollback periods when we look at sick pay. And what we mean by that is if you go out today, the 24th of November, your sick pay look back starts from today, 4 years. And the reason for that is in public sector, in total, you'll have 183 days of sick pay that's paid to you. But what we do is we have to make sure, do you have any sick leave left? So we'll actually go back to 2019, the 24th of November. We'll work out of 183 days, have you used any sick leave? And if you have, how much have you left? The next look back period is 12 months, because if you've used sick leave in the last 12 months, that will dictate the rate of pay at which you'll be paid. And again, when we sit down with you, we'll go through all of that. But really for you personally, you really do have to wonder, what can you do without? So a lot of stuff when we get sick doesn't stop. You still have to pay the heating, the electricity. For most people nowadays, if you have a family, after your mortgage or your rent, your food actually is your biggest household. That can't stop. You still need to eat. You still need to go to Dunnes or Tesco. So really, when you're sick, you do have to think about, it would just be energy well spent on focusing on getting better. You don't want to be worrying about the finance side of things. We know from people that have claimed in our salary protection and from speaking with their partners that actually the partner normally takes on the finance and the worry because they want to make sure you can get better. If you have planned for the unforeseen, i.e. nobody wants to get sick, but if you've planned for that and you have an income protection policy in place, your partner then, the stress is taken off then because they don't have to worry about the finance. Most people, when they're sick, they have to go through their treatment plan. They have to make sure what appointments are they going to, how are they going to get to those appointments. They don't need to be worrying about money. And really, that's where the Fórsa salary protection scheme kicks in. Fórsa have developed a plan. And remember, it's the Fórsa salary protection scheme. You're the members, so you actually own the scheme. Cornmarket are here in the background for the administrators. So we sit down and explain how the scheme works, but you actually own the scheme. There are two ways you can protect your salary. Today, we're going to talk about the Fórsa salary protection scheme and the reason it's here. So Fórsa have this scheme in place, and it's to make sure you can focus on getting better. So instead of dropping off from 13 weeks full pay, maybe down to 13 weeks of half pay, or unfortunately, if you're out of work long term, it will top up your salary to 75%. So instead of going from 30, 40, 50,000 down to social welfare, if you're on, for example, a 50 grand salary, your salary will remain at 37,500 until you're deemed fit to return to work or your normal retirement age. So some people may say, well, what is my normal retirement age? The scheme is based on public sector rules. So if you started before 2004, your normal retirement age may be 60. Now you may be thinking you'll work past it, but the normal retirement age is 60. For anyone post 2004, it'd be 65. Again, when we sit down with you, we'll go through that. But we would like to highlight that it's for short-term illnesses as well. And the reason we bring this up, if you have been out long-term sick and you have used up all of your sick leave, and thankfully you're back to work and everything otherwise is healthy, you may just get, for example, like your colleague here on the call, you may get strep throat and you might be out for 3 to 5 days. If that's the case, short-term illness, the policy, once you let us know, will be paid out directly to you. And you don't need to get a consultant or a GP. It's actually self-certified. You just need to contact the Cornmarket Salary Protection Scheme. The reason we say it will continue to pay you until you're deemed fit to return to work, that's by your own sign-off, so by your consultant or your normal retirement age. Unfortunately, some people may never be able to return to work. When I was with the Fórsa training and development there a few weeks ago, I won't say where it was because we don't want to highlight anybody, but I was asking them afterwards, have you heard about the scheme and do you understand how it works? And one of the ladies actually put up her hand and said, absolutely, because my own colleague claimed on the scheme and he could never come back to work. He said he would have lost his house had he not been in the scheme. And that's why I joined it. So listen, we don't want you to be one of those people that hears about the scheme after you're sick, because if that's the case, it's too late. You can't join it. Everyone should be joining the scheme as soon as they can. It's actually a benefit of your Fórsa membership, because if you're not a member of Fórsa, you can't avail of the Fórsa Salary Protection Scheme. One query that we would get, listen, it's an insurance policy. How do we know it's going to pay it out? Well, again, because of the group power and the volume of members in Fórsa, we can actually get preferential rates and we can hopefully make sure that the majority of claims are paid out. So you can see here for the year of 2022, 96% of disability claims were paid out. Now, obviously, we'll focus because most people will. Why were 4% not? So the reason they weren't paid is either the clients, the members, actually returned to work. So they informed us they were out sick, but actually by the time they were better, they hadn't run out of pay. So they returned to work, or due to a non-disclosure, i.e. when they applied to join the scheme, they didn't actually inform us on the application form that they either had a pre-existing history or they were taking medicines, for example. But you can see here the breakdown of actually what the schemes were paid out on. So pre-COVID, I suppose before 5 years, cancer would have actually been one of the biggest payouts and schemes, but that's actually been overtaken here by mental health. So again, if we look at this, why would you look at a Fórsa salary protection scheme versus maybe a standard off-the-shelf private income protection? Just to let you know that mental health normally isn't covered in private schemes for any anxiety or mental health issues. So again, that's part of being Fórsa member, Fórsa salary protection scheme. It's the group buying power that we can get additional benefits and a better pricing really, and a better product for you. To let you know, there are additional benefits on the scheme. So we now have death benefit, twice your salary, specified illness, 25% of your salary. And the reason that's paid out, if people do actually claim and they're out in long-term sick, for example, with cancer, they may feel that their actual outgoings on a monthly basis will go down. They don't. We actually find that your outgoings on a monthly basis, if you have a serious illness, they actually go up because you're traveling a lot more. You have to go to more doctor's appointments. You're actually eating out a lot more because you're not at home and you don't have access to a staff canteen. So actually your outgoings do go up when you have a specified illness. You may want to get additional treatments that are not normally covered under the HSE. For example, you may have to get massages. So that will pay you 25% as a tax-free benefit paid directly to you. We have additional benefits here like Fórsa, the MyDoc, and I'm going to go through that shortly, and also the pink and blue power. Again, these are all just if you're in the Fórsa salary protection scheme. When you join the salary protection scheme, you do get an overview and a reminder of your benefits on an annual basis. But really what we have coming is fantastic in 2024. And this is the pink and blue power that I just mentioned there. This is purely for members of Fórsa that are in the Fórsa salary protection scheme. So I can't reiterate that enough. Yes, it covers your income, God forbid you're sick, but it's the additional benefits here that are absolutely amazing. And you don't get these on the normal off-the-shelf schemes. So as you can see here in the left-hand corner, 5 Fórsa members were diagnosed with cancer through the last campaign that we ran back in 2018 and 2019. But basically what this means, for Pink Power, it's for breast cancer, and it's a screening program, and it's only for you when you take up on the registration link that will be sent out to you from next year. And it's for people that are outside the normal screening program. So when we think about it, if you are through the normal screening program, once you're over the age of 50, hopefully things will be caught. But we actually know ourselves that it's women in their 30s and 40s that are actually getting breast cancer now. And we all have somebody in that bracket, unfortunately. So what this does, it gives these clients a way to actually go in and get checked. If something is found by the doctor or the consultant, we will refer you directly in to the nearest hospital to make sure that's checked out. If you do need to get biopsies, if you do need to get further mammograms and follow-ups, that's all covered within the scheme. For the blue power, it's for prostate, so that's for males. And again, that's for those clients that are outside of the normal screening program through the HSE. So it's outside the national screening program. And we all know that if we can find cancer in people, hopefully it can be cured. It's if it's found later on that obviously the results aren't going to be as good. But we can see here the lives potentially saved. And remember, this is just for the Fórsa screening, was one female member, age 42. One of my own clients was actually found the last time in October, and she had actually been told by the doctor, listen, if we hadn't have found this now, you would have been looking at how to live out your life as best you can, not how to live the rest of your life. And that lady had two little girls. So it's really important, and it's a great advocate for the scheme. I suppose most people will know about MyDoc. It's fantastic. And the reason being is, on average, people will go to the doctor 4 times for their family during the year. So if we can save you that money, absolutely use it. There were 700 calls made by the Fórsa Salary Protection Scheme members alone last year, and over 2,000 have created a MyDoc profile. But basically, once you're a member of the scheme, you're going to get a PIN number that you can log into online. And what that means is you have access to an online portal for MyDoc. You can get your prescriptions, you can actually meet a doctor online, and you can get a sick cert if you need it. So on average, it's €230 per year if someone used this service 4 times. Now, you may think yourself, I wouldn't be going to the doctor 4 times. The good news is it's not just for you, it's for you and your family. So again, it goes back to the Fórsa family and the connections that we have. So you, your kids, your partner can all use the MyDoc. We know trying to get an appointment with a GP ourselves, they might tell you, come back next week. Like, that's no good if you're sick and you want to nip it in the bud, for example, with strep throat. So definitely MyDoc is there. It's there to be used, and there's unlimited access for that as well. So definitely use it. So just to recap on your benefits, I'm conscious of time. The salary protection scheme primarily is here to make sure that your salary doesn't stop when you need it. So when you need it most, it will pay you 75% of your salary until you're deemed fit to return to work, your normal retirement age. But on top of that, there are additional benefits that no other scheme has. Twice your salary in life cover, 25% specified illness. Most people are remembering the MyDoc at this stage, but obviously Pink and Blue Power is a great initiative that we're really proud of. And 5 people's lives that you will work with every day have been saved through prevention rather than cure. So absolutely make sure you avail of it. And to give you our details, why us? Why are Fórsa working so closely with us? Well, we're here over 50 years. We know what we're doing and we want to continue to do so. And with dealing with members like Fórsa, hopefully we'll be here for the next 50 years. But I've put the link in the chat there, and I've also sent on my contact details to Fiona so she can send them around the slides afterwards. We'd be delighted to sit down with every single one of you, and any questions that you have, I'll gladly take. So thanks a million.
Brilliant, Emer, fantastic, and such a great scheme. And there's lots of detail, there's lots of questions. What I'm going to do is, I know there's some questions come in the chat earlier on, and I'm just trying to get some of them up. I know we answered some of the questions in the chat, but for the reason of recording, I'm probably going to call it where I can. I'm going to call out some of those questions and answers so that they're recorded if people can't access the chat on the recording. So I know there's been some questions around, let me see now, where's the easiest way to get your membership number if you've lost it? I think that's just contact Sean's section in membership.
Actually, Fiona, if there's a contact us section on the website, then they should direct that to the division. So fill out the contact us thing in the website, and someone will get back to you.
Okay. Also, can retired Fórsa members still paying contribution access to discounts app? And I think the answer to that is yes. Yeah. Well, we got a yes, I think, from Sean and maybe from Angela. So retired members can access the discount app. There is some problem with the discount portal at the moment. So Angela, maybe if we can pop an email into the chat for those they were saying they're trying to download it at the moment on their phones and they're getting an error, whether it's an error with their invalid mobile number or an invalid membership number. So
yeah, that's perfect. I'll put my contact details in, and if any of them want to come directly, I can work with Patricia on that to get it sorted for them.
Great, perfect. That's brilliant. Thanks, Angela. Appreciate that. Okay, I'm flicking down through them as quickly as I can. I think we've already given, we've given out the link for the login. There's membership cards. Sean, do you want to say anything around what's happening with membership cards? A couple of questions on that.
So some people have asked, do we send out membership cards? No, we haven't done that since before COVID. The membership number, if you're a new member, will be contained in the email you got confirming your membership and the branch that you belong to. It should also be on other Fórsa correspondence that you receive from time to time. If you don't have it, you can get it by using our website. There's a contact us section on the website. But there were previously membership cards, but they haven't been released for quite some time.
Okay, great. And Angela has popped. Don't forget, we will send on the slides, the phone numbers, and the contact details for the presenters, plus this recording as well. So I'm getting to the questions in terms of civil servants can work till age 70. Can they be fully covered up to the retirement age? I think in terms of salary protection, and have retired members any cover? So I think that's for you, Emer.
Yeah. So civil servants, yes, they can work up until the age of 80. However, the normal retirement age of the scheme runs in line with your public sector pension arrangements. So while you can work past your normal retirement age, it's been extended up until 70. The normal retirement age will kick in for the salary protection to cease. So what that means is you'll be written out at age 60 or 65, or if you're post 2013, 66. But you can continue on the additional benefits. So you can continue to access the MyDoc. You will still have retired members' life cover, because included in the scheme is what's called medical immunity. So you can actually apply to join the scheme in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. And that medical will actually see you through right for your life cover to continue. So you'll get a notification out in the post, and you basically sign to say you wish to avail of this, and you don't have to disclose any medical issues that may have occurred since joining the scheme. The other
there's a couple of questions around pre-96 and pre-2004. But yeah, I think you've answered those in the presentation.
Yeah, so anyone pre-2004, the normal retirement age will be 60, and post will be 65. For the pre-2004, no, you can actually choose to work until 66, but the normal retirement age of the scheme for pension arrangements is what dictates the scheme. For core market salary protection top up, exactly, yeah. So I just saw this one here. So for the core market salary protection, you say the scheme up to 75%, but it is taken into consideration other income. So on the slides there that will be sent out, it is your full pay, then half pay. So we top you up to 75%, and the TRR and social welfare payment that was on the slide, that is taken out, and so it's topped up to 75% less any other income. The tax implications. So you're right. If you are receiving any type of income protection, the insurance company is paying that out. So therefore, your insurance company becomes your employer, i.e. that's your income provider. So but when somebody is in claim, once you let us know that, there's a couple of things we can do. We can actually do a tax return for you to make sure that you've allocated over your tax credits and your cutoff point to make sure that it is efficient. If you haven't put a claim in, for example, and you don't know how to do that, we will help you actually do that. And we can do it the following year as well. So for example, if you were out on claim this year, in 2024, we can actually go back for 2023's tax year, and anything that will be owed to you will be paid out. So as you say, it's not as straightforward, because you could have 3 incomes. You could have your department income, you could have a social welfare income, and you could have a life insurance company income. So we will sit down and go through with you, because it is complicated. And when you're sick, you may not have the mind to be going through all those documents, and that's where we kind of step in. There is a salary protections claims team there to take that hassle out of it as well.
And I just to say, like, this presentation is very general. It's just to give people like the opportunity to say, you know, like, this scheme is available, and if you want to talk in more detail and get those details, you know, we had to make it as kind of general as possible in such a short time. What branches can invite all of our speakers out to speak to their individual groups. Absolutely. If you know, if that's what people want to do, you are all available. I think you're right, Emer. There's another question: how much salary does it cost?
Yeah, so it's a percentage of salary, so it doesn't matter whether you're male, female, 50 or 20, 1.99% gross, and what that means is you get tax relief on it. So if you're a high rate taxpayer, it works out at 1.41%. If you're a low rate taxpayer, 20%, it works out at 1.7%. So it's the same price as a percentage of salary for everybody, so it is very fair. And the cover for my doc, that's actually included in the salary protection scheme. And just had a question there. So once you're a member of the Fórsa salary protection scheme, it's part of your benefits of that scheme. It was only introduced last year as an added benefit, so you don't have to pay for it. So which is great news for yourself. I think that's
there's a couple of questions I think for Angela around the app. Yeah. People are trying to download, I think, the Worka app. So Angela, if you can. You've probably popped the link in or the name of it in. I think there's just a bit of confusion.
Yeah, so I popped, Roisin kindly popped the link in. I've just shared a document with Sean and Roisin that they could maybe share in the chat. I can't seem to share it across myself, and sure, that no just problem. Tells you how to log on to the app to the website. So hopefully that would clear up some queries there.
Mm-hmm. Great, thanks, Angela. There's a question around car insurance, but perhaps Michael could contact Core Market specifically, because I think car insurance can be quite individual. So I don't want to have a back and forth on that. It probably just depends on a lot of factors. So there's another couple of questions around the app, and I think we're dealing with that. And I have a question. Is it possible to put something in place for 60 to 65 then, or will our pension kick in? So you've probably cover that, Emer.
Yeah, so if you choose to work past 60 or 65 for that year, if you're working, you could possibly look at a private income protection scheme for those years, but it will be more expensive, obviously, than the Fórsa salary protection scheme. So it just depends if you plan on working past the normal retirement age. Now, you can keep up the benefits for the specified illness and the life cover and the MyDoc and the Pink and Blue Power and everything else. It's purely just the income protection scheme. Your pension won't kick in unless you decide to actually retire. So if you do decide, you know, to retire at 61, 62, then your pension will kick in. But until that date, until you decide to retire, you won't get a payment for your pension because you're working.
Sure. Great. Are there any other questions out there before we draw this session to a close? It's been massively informative. It's amazing the amount of information you can impart to people in under 60 minutes. So thank you to all our presenters, to Sean, to Emer, to Angela, to Brendan, and to Patricia, who's gone. Just to say, fabulous information. You're all working really hard behind the scenes for all of our members. And I think it's something that the branches and our workplace reps should really be getting that information out to other members. So have an event in your workplace, have a conversation with your colleagues, send on the link, invite in, all of our presenters and all of our speakers to talk about the services in more detail. And maybe if there's individuals who have questions, that they can get those individually answered. We will send out all this information in a package to you probably on Monday. So keep an eye out for it. And just to do a final plug for Lunch and Learn, we have our last session of the year in 2 weeks' time. It won't be the last Friday of the month because I think we'll all be on holiday. We'll all be enjoying the after Christmas probably tiredness or whatever. So on the 8th of December, we will have former Fórsa official Desi Robinson is going to come in and talk to us about dignity and respect at work, and the outcome of a survey which we conducted with Fórsa members. I think we got 5,000 responses. So we'll talk about that and some things that the branches can do to promote dignity and respect in the workplace. So thank you so much for logging in, for registering, for your interest. Thank you again to our presenters. You're absolutely fabulous. And I look forward to working with you all into the future. And I look forward to seeing you all again in the shorter space of time in 2 weeks. So take care of yourselves and have a good weekend.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Enjoy,
guys.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Thanks a million.